Okay, so thank you for visiting 2080 Training. 2080 Training is a set of online programs that are designed to offer some help to the common people issues that staff, managers and organisations face. We've called it 2080 Training because we're basing it on the principle of the 2080 rule or the Pareto principle. So the notion that 20% of our efforts generally yield 80% of the results. And when you can isolate the 20%, it means that you can get results much quicker. Our training is based on two main assumptions. So the first assumption is that our psychology, as human beings, our psychology affects everything that we do. So our psychology affects our mood, our morale, our motivation. It affects how we get on with people. It affects how we perform. And it affects those things both personally, but also interpersonally, in groups, at work, at home. But few of us are taught how to get the best out of our psychology. So 2080 Training aims to share some models and some techniques that allow us to better understand how we tick personally, how other people tick, and then some easy to use techniques that will allow us to tick a bit better, to relate to others and understand others a bit better, and to perform a bit better. So the first thing is about knowing our psychology, to become our own inner psychologist. So the second assumption that we have is about the nature of work and organisations. And it's based on an assumption that the world of work is about much more than just being clear about the task. So if people are involved in getting the job done, things like people's perception, people's feelings and emotions, their understanding, the way they get on with each other or don't, all of those things impact on the way the job gets done. And I'm sure any of you in organisations know that if somebody's feeling fed up, demoralised, demotivated, they do the job very differently than if they're feeling upbeat and confident. That if there's friction within a group of people, the job gets done differently than if people are getting on well together. And yet most training doesn't actually address how do you manage your state well to be enthused and motivated? How do you manage stress and anxiety if there's change at work, say? How do you understand those people that you think, oh no, I've not got to deal with so-and-so today? And then how can you apply all of that so that the job gets done in the best way possible? So with the 2080 training programme, we're aiming to share with you some models that help you understand individual psychology, that help you understand the way things generally operate at work, and to share with you some practical tools that can make a difference in the way you manage yourself, manage your relationships, manage other people. So the 2080 principle, as I've mentioned, it says that 20% of our efforts give you 80% of the results. These training programs have been designed to distill out that 20%. So we've looked at all sorts of things. So a lot of the material comes from NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. But there's lots of other stuff from conventional psychology. There's content that's drawn from leadership and management training. There's content that's drawn from organisational analysis, from learning theory. What we've aimed to do is not give comprehensive background theory, but to strip it down to the bare essentials. So what's the minimum that you need to know for things to make sense? And then to include easy to use, practical tools and techniques that you can actually have a change. So you can change the way that you tick, you can get on better with other people when you need to, you can manage people in a way that gets the best out of them, you can be more focused at work, all sorts of practical aspects. So we're not aiming for comprehensive training, we're aiming for the difference that makes the difference. So, and to deliver that in short courses, in bite-sized lessons, in a way that's practically useful, and for a price that's very, very reasonable. So that's what's behind 2080 Training. We have a number of programs in production, and I hope that you'll engage with some of them and get as much from them as many other people have.